And more details have emerged from a privacy breach at St. Joseph's Healthcare Hamilton that we told you about back in March. The personal data of 49 patients was looked up by a staff member who has since been fired. But according to a recent report obtained by CHCH News, 26 of those patients had their health records accessed by the employee over the span of a year. Manesa Dhanabalan has the details.
The lack of transparency coming from St. Joseph's is absolutely appalling, and it is absolutely sickening.
Arthur Gallant received a letter back in February from St. Joseph's Healthcare Hamilton that his late mother's information was accessed by an employee out of curiosity 2 years after she died. In the letter, St. Joseph's Healthcare Hamilton said they launched an investigation on the employee's activity. And in March, Gallant was notified that his mother was one of 49 patients whose files were looked up by the staff member. The worker was then fired.
I was still led to believe that all 49 patients impacted by the breach only had their demographics breached, which in other words, just name, phone number, address, age, date of birth, and like I said, also I believe her last 3 appointments. But for me, had she been alive, that is still information that, had it gotten into the wrong hands, could still be used for, a pretty malicious purpose.
But CHCH News obtained a new report from the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Ontario, which was sent to someone affected. It says for 26 patients, the health records were accessed, including clinical notes. And for 23 patients, the health records were not actually accessed. Gallant's mother isn't one of those 26, but he's frustrated with the way St. Joe's has handled the breach.
But I'm also shocked and alarmed to learn when St. Joseph's learned of the privacy breach, how long it took them to notify affected patients, how bad the breach was.
In a statement to CHCH News, St. Joe's says they learned about the breach in March 2021 and reported it to the Information and Privacy Commission in June after they investigate and get a full scope of the breach, and mentioned the hospital was under a lot of pressure during the pandemic. We reached out to the Commission for an interview, but they declined our request. The Commission says they've closed the file because St. Joe's has taken steps to prevent this from happening, which includes enhancing their privacy policy, launching a mandatory annual privacy training, and terminating the worker. The Commission adds that St. Joe's reported 150 personal health information breaches last year, but Gallant says he still has many unanswered questions, and he says he will be taking legal action against the hospital.